Hey everyone, I'm Michael Coker, and welcome to the Coker on the Record podcast. Today we have Councilman Kyle Shields here from District 3, and if you want a downtown Mulberry, this is the episode you want to listen to, so stay tuned. Kyle, first off, thank you for being here today. And if you would, if people maybe don't know who you are, maybe start by just giving a brief introduction of who you are, kind of where you come from, a little bit about your background.
Sure. I've been a Hamilton Mill resident for 20 years now. Wife's a school teacher over at Puckett's Mill for 5th grade. She's had her graduation. I have 2 kids. Both are leaving the house now. One just graduated from college and the other one's working full time.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So now we're empty nesters. We're looking at each other going, what are we going to do now?
Sounds good. Well, thank you for being here. Obviously, so the purpose of this discussion is first off, I understand there's been some polling that was done by the city. Can you talk a little bit about that? And then maybe some of the highlights of some of the aspects of the poll and maybe one question in particular that was a big surprise to us.
Yeah, sure. We sent out a poll in regard to what the residents of Mulberry would like. We had different questions in there. And one of them was, would you like to see a downtown location? And it was like 92%, I think, wanted a downtown, a hub, someplace to go to and meet. And that was overwhelming. And that seemed to be the number one thing. Obviously, traffic was high up on the list, but something we can do in the short term is look for something for a downtown.
Yeah, and so I guess my first question for you is, because there's probably going to be some people out there that are like, oh boy, here we go, a downtown, more traffic, more people. What would you say to those people, first off, that maybe are a little skeptical or concerned about a downtown?
Sure. A downtown, I think what it's good for, being here especially for 20 years, is everybody wants a gathering place. And to have a city, you have to have some kind of a nucleus, some place for people to go to really have a heartbeat of the city. And people were asking, we want a good place to eat. We want a good place with entertainment. Someplace where we can meet some friends, someplace where we can invite friends over to Mulberry from other cities. And those are the things that people were really looking for.
As we kind of sit here and think about kind of what the vision for downtown is, I mean, there's a reason you're here today. Like, you're in District 3, right? Why do you feel like District 3 might be a good fit for a downtown Mulberry?
Sure. Well, District 3 is kind of in the middle of Mulberry. It's right off Highway 85. It's the greater Hamilton Mill area. Think of Gravel Springs Road over to Jim Moore and 124. It's kind of that box area right there. That's where we already have the things like the Publix and the Kohl's and the Home Depots. And we already have items that Gwinnett County built earlier on, the townhomes that are over by the DQ, whatever it might be. So it is an area that we do have individuals that could drive short distances to get to that downtown location. In fact, one of the requests that we saw also, especially in the Hamilton Mill area, was golf cart access. That's a big deal. They see Hall County with the wide sidewalks. They're saying, how can we make something where we can drive our golf carts to the downtown, park it, go have some fun, meet some friends, and then go ahead and take the golf carts home? So I thought that was an interesting concept also.
Yeah, no, I agree. And so just kind of, first off, I understand that there really hasn't been a specific location identified for the downtown yet, but just kind of talk generally. I mean, as the head of District 3, I mean, what is your vision for this kind of downtown space?
A lot of cities have done great jobs with downtowns, and they're all a little bit different. So I've been going around and visiting different ones, and if you've ever been to the city of Cumming over there, they have an amazing downtown section where they've kind of put a lot of cool features in there. They have an amphitheater, which is kind of staggered up, where you have natural seating. It's kind of like a half horseshoe. I'm trying to paint a mental picture for you so you can see it. And they have a brewery, they've got a Mexican food restaurant, they have a lot of high-end restaurants, but also some counter service. They also have neat boutiques, and it's very well done. And what's cool about it is they have rooftop dining. So you can listen to the summer concert series in the amphitheater while you're up on the roof of the brewery or of a pizza place or whatever it might be. And so they've done a really good job there. And I think that would bring individuals in, not just, from the Mulberry area, but also you can invite friends in. And especially being right off of Highway 85 there, it's not going to jam up 124. Being in District 3 is right off Highway 85 where Hamilton Mill exit is.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, having a downtown, like you said, right there in District 3, I mean, you have pretty easy access to the interstate right there. You're like you said, you already have kind of some development that's going up in that area. You mentioned kind of the city of Cumming and kind of you feel like they've done a good job with that. Talk a little bit about, what your vision would be for, you mentioned the amphitheater. Obviously, we have Mulberry Jam Festival. Can you talk a little bit about, maybe for those that don't know about Mulberry Jam, what it is and maybe how that could incorporate as part of the city downtown?
Sure. Well, every city has something going on, whether it's a Swanee Brew Fest. I know that I just went to the Lawrenceville where they had the 60s and they had 4 different stages around the downtown area. And being a city, we want something like that to draw people once a year to come in, whether it's vendors, it's people, entertainment, just a good community gathering. And I thought that was a good catchy name, the Mulberry Jam, because we can have some music in there and also, who knows in the future, maybe a jam contest of some sort. Who knows what it might be. But we're having the first one this year. Obviously, the first one, we're going to figure out what works and what doesn't work, and it's going to grow from there. So if we do have a downtown center, we're going to have to think about that. Where can we put this? Are we going to have a green space? Are we going to have the green space in the middle? Are we going to have retail on the sides? Are we going to have a mix of dining areas and retail with the car parking in the front? So there's so many cool things to think about. And I think we've gotten a lot of help, and I really enjoy seeing the community get involved with the steering committee. I mean, the best way you find a cool plan is by having everybody's input and putting all those best pieces together.
That's what I was going to ask you. So Mulberry's in the process now of putting together a comprehensive plan, right? Which is kind of, hey, this is our vision for the city of Mulberry the next 5, 10, 15 years. If maybe I'm a vendor, maybe I'm a restaurant owner, and I'm like, hey, I've always been kind of targeting this area, and I'm thinking about putting a restaurant in, or maybe you have a boutique shop with a couple different locations, or maybe you're an architect or something. Can you talk a little bit about how maybe these people can get involved, even with District 3 or with you, to have kind of a say in what this downtown could look like?
Well, sure. Well, come out to the Mulberry Jam. Number one, we're all going to be there to answer questions. Same with our city manager, Jamie Palmer. Reach out to Jamie Palmer. Reach out to our city office and let them know that you want to be involved. In fact, I just met somebody today at Mulberry Park when I was walking. They were walking their child in a stroller. And he stopped me and he says, "Aren't you one of the city council?" I said, "Yeah, how do you know?" He says, "Well, I live in your district and I'm the HOA president of the Grove. And they have 92 homes, I believe, over there. And it's in my district." And we started talking. And he says, "How do I get involved? What do I do?" And so there's lots of people that want to get involved and they want to make a difference. We just need to give them avenues to do that.
Okay, great. I think that's great advice. If people want to get in touch with you directly, what's the best way for them to do that?
I would say email. And just like everybody with the council, it's your first name dot last name. So it's Kyle.Shields at mulberrygeorgia.gov.
And kind of before we wrap up, I mean, obviously just kind of sticking with District 3, I mean, if you had to say, we're talking about putting this city center in District 3, if you had to just talk about the character or the feel of District 3, right? If I'm an individual and I'm thinking of moving to Mulberry, what makes District 3 special and maybe even different from some of the other districts in the city?
Sure. Again, looking around at all the different cities, we have a lot of equestrian going on, especially with Mulberry Park being the hub, where we have horse trails. And I know with our vision, we're talking about incorporating that. So it'd be nice to have a little bit of, let's just say, if you've been to Alpharetta or Milton, a little mix of that style, a little high-end look where you can stroll, walk around, have some space, and make it look unique and interesting, more relaxed in farm style. That's the way I'm visioning it. But of course, we need to listen to the residents if they would like to see that or not.
Okay, awesome. Anything else that you'd want to share with either members of the city that listen or members of District 3, things that, you feel like would be important for them to hear about whether, about the plans for the future?
Yes. There's a lot going on. I mean, I've never done this before. I'm just a resident that wanted to make a difference, and we're only year number 2 into it.
Sure.
And so it's kind of like getting fed by a fire hose. There's a lot to learn, and you figure a lot about government and how things move. I'm a small business owner. I'm used to moving quick, swift, and I found out government is opposite of that. So somebody told me this. They said, if government's moving quick, there's a problem. I'm like, well, wait a second. That might be the problem, right? So let's get it moving a little bit quicker. But I just need to know how to slow down a little bit. And there's a process. And we can't rebuild a rocket ship. And so I understand that I get hounded a lot by traffic. I sit in it daily trying to get out of Hamilton Mill. We're doing our best working with the state DOT. I know that District 3, That's where it's impacted the most because that's our only on and off ramp for the whole city. So I've waited multiple signals just trying to get across 124. And so it is frustrating, but just know that we're working on things. We sat down with the state DOT, we sat down with the county DOT, and there are plans in the future. It just takes time. Now, the things that we can do is, certain things like the downtown, thinking about that. What can we do for that? Different like sidewalks. You want to make some good, nice wide sidewalks so kids have access to walk to school or ride their bike to school. So there's little things that we can do along the way to wait for those big projects that will happen in the future.
Yeah, and I'll share that as well, is that Kyle, is definitely somebody who has been a very strong advocate about road improvements. The unfortunate thing that we have in Mulberry is many of our streets are state roads. So the city has zero responsibility over these state roads. We couldn't tear them up even if we wanted to, right? They're owned by the state, they're operated by the state, whether that's 124, 324, some of the larger avenues where we tend to have most of the problems. But I will tell you this, Councilman Shields has worked overtime. He's met with state reps over and over and over again, state DOT, to see what he can do. So I appreciate you and your advocacy and the work that you've done to really try to improve the traffic situation in the city. And you're right. I mean, it's a slow process, right? I mean, we talked with some of the state DOT about maybe considering getting a new interchange, a new exit, basically within the city. And they were saying that could be 10 to 15 years before that's gone through all the processes and approved and this or that. And so it does, unfortunately, as a fellow small business owner, it does move slower than I would like. And it has been very eye-opening that, these safeguards and these procedures are in place and they just have to be followed. And so we're starting those processes. We're getting it going, but it is going to take some time. So I agree. But thank you for what you've done and your advocacy and all that. Okay, everybody. Well, that's hopefully a cool little update of what may come regarding the Mulberry downtown as we kind of continue to look around District 3 and Kyle's district of what might be the best placement for that, as we kind of maybe look forward to giving everybody a place you can take your kids, a little town green, maybe a fountain that the kids can play in. If you have any updates or you feel like you can contribute to that in any way, I would encourage you to reach out to Kyle, reach out to me, reach out to any of the councilmen, and maybe we can make that happen.
Can I mention one thing?
Sure. Yeah.
So I just started this actually today, and I do have an Instagram account.
Okay.
And it says Kyle Talks Mulberry.
Okay.
And so we're starting something, at least I'm starting something at Mulberry Park because I'm trying to get in shape. Okay. I know just the TV ads weight, so I'm a little skinnier than what it looks probably. But in regard to, we call it walking and talking with the councilman.
Okay, nice.
And so we're meeting on Tuesdays at 7 p.m., Mulberry Park, where the Frisbee golf course is, where the pavilion is. I'll get there like 6:45. And come on out, walk with me. We can get healthy. We can chat. You can burn my ear about whatever you want. And I'll do the best that I can do to answer everything that I can. If I can't answer it, I'll make sure that I'll write that down and get an answer for you.
Look at that.
Coming out and meet us.
That is awesome. That is cool. And that is access, right? That's what makes Mulberry great, right? Is that you can talk to us. We're your neighbors, right? You see us at Publix, you see us at Kroger, you see us at the grocery store. But that's really cool. I'm glad you put that plug in there. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. And until next time, if you like getting these, obviously like and subscribe so we can keep you updated on what's going on in the city of Mulberry. But until next time, have a great day in the city of Mulberry.